I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the things you can do with your Padlet once you've created it. So this layout looks the same whether you're on the app, on the Chromebook, or on the Mac. So whatever device you're going to be using, steps are going to be pretty similar. I am using my Mac currently, so you're getting the computer view. When I want to add a post to my Padlet, I have two options. I can click the plus sign, which is down in the right-hand corner, or I can double tap the Padlet. I'm using the Canvas Padlet board, which allows me to move my posts all around. So depending on your board layout that you've chosen, your posts will appear a little bit differently. But because I'm in Canvas, it appears as a square, and I'm able to move it around. Inside your Padlet post, you have the option of adding a title and a description. You can add just a title, you can add just a description, or you don't have to add anything. Sometimes if I'm allowing my students to use Padlet as a guest, I'll make sure that their title is their name, and then the description is whatever the work is that we're doing. But again, that doesn't matter. It's really up to you and up to your assignment. Once you've typed in there, I can highlight my text and my description, and you can see I have all these different options. I can bold, italicize, strike through, I can do a hyperlink here, I can highlight, as well as all of these other things, make a bulleted list that you may want to do to customize your text inside of your Padlet description box. I also have the option of uploading different items. Here I have the quick links for upload, linking, web search, and taking a photo. But if I click these three dots, I get those first four options as well as a whole bunch more. So a lot of these options are brand new, and they're really upping the way that Padlet lets you interact with it. So the upload option will just let you upload something from your computer or from your Padlet drive. These are all images that I've used on a Padlet before. Or you can pick a file straight from your computer. So it'll bring up your computer. I can open something that's saved on my desktop, and it'll pop that over into my Padlet box. You'll notice that once I insert one piece of media, the option disappears. So when you've inserted that media, you can no longer insert other media. So you are limited in that regard. But you probably wouldn't want to insert too many pieces of media, because then it would just start to get really crazy and out of control, your boxes. To delete the media I currently have in there, I click the X, and then it allows me to pick other media. Linking will just allow you to enter any website. You can copy and paste the link there, or if you have it memorized, you can do that as well. So really great for creating a resource page if your students are researching a topic. I can Google. It's pulling words from the box that I typed, so it sees my name. So these are words, pictures that pop up when you Google my name. Some are related to me, some are not. Google's a weird thing. Or I could Google something else. Of course, with students, that search option is a little risky. You don't want to just let students Google things at random. It's better if you have pre-selected search terms that you've vetted for them, or if you have a photo bank that they can choose their photos from. I can take a snapshot, and that is going to engage the camera on my MacBook. Here I am. I can just press this circle here to take the picture. And it'll take it. It'll let you change your coloring and add a caption. I'm just going to go ahead and save. The thing that I love the most about this option, the snapshot option on the on Padlet, is that it engages the camera on your Chromebooks. So Chromebooks, how you can use the camera is a little bit limited. You have to use a tool that pulls that camera. You can't just activate it very easily. So Padlet will engage that camera on your Chromebooks, allowing your students to put pictures on here. You can do a video. This is also great. This is me making a video. Hello, I hope you have a great day. Okay, so I can replay and save, discard and restart. So I'm just gonna save it, and then you'll see that that video pops right on that Padlet board as well. The video option is really great, especially for your 4th and 5th grade students if you are not able to, since you're not able to have Flipgrid or Recap in the elementary app store, they can get onto Padlet on the web, and then they can post video reflections to a Padlet board. Of course, it doesn't work as seamlessly, but it's a great way to, as those other tools, but it's a great way to get video feedback or video reflections without having to use an app. Of course, you would still need to get the parent permission, but this is another great tool for our students, and it allows them to film right within the iPad, so I love that as well. You can add voice. This is one of the other new features. So I can actually add an audio recording. The steps are the same. I would just hit record and then save, and it would add that audio on there. So really neat option for some of that verbal practice as well. The audio option does not work on the iPad. It is limited to a Chromebook or a Mac, so you'll need to keep that in mind. The draw option is another great new feature, so I can pick colors and I can draw on this. You know, I can change my background if I wanted to black. You know, I'm just going to draw a little heart and arrow situation here. My drawing skills are limited because I'm on a Mac trying to use my trackpad, but think about the power of that for our students who are using Padlet on the iPad. It's obviously much easier to draw on the iPad, so they could draw quick reactions to something, they could label things. It really is a great tool that they can quickly add some sketches on there. You can add a location on a map. So if I am talking about things with students, locations with students, I can add that onto a Padlet, or they could add their own locations on there. That's going to take a little while to load, so lots of uses for that location. You can have that there, and then the last option is linking it to another Padlet. So if I click that, it allows me to pick some of my other Padlets over here that I can then link. So I'm just going to go ahead and snap a picture again real quick. Okay, there we go. Snap that picture. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to have that be on my Padlet. So there you go. So now I have a square. It's got some information and that photo that I snapped. You'll notice that when I click out of my square, I no longer have the editing option to edit it. I will just need to hit that editing pencil. The trash can, of course, will delete it. And I'll get to those 3-dot options in a minute here. I'm going to go ahead and add another square to my Padlet because that's something we'll need for those 3-dot options. And I'm just going to write some of my campuses here. Okay, so when I hit my 3-dot options, I'll be coming back to that other box over there. You can see that I have a bunch of different options here as well. I can color code my post. This is really great. You think your kids are going on a scavenger hunt, they're uploading pictures of things to the Padlet, and you can color code them based on their attributes. I can go in and edit it. The thing that I love is this connect to a post. I believe at this time this only works on the Canvas. They may have changed it so that it works on some of the other ones, but I think it only works on the Canvas. So when I hit connect a post, I can choose any of the posts here to connect it to and give it a label. So let's say I label this my schools. I can connect that. So now my post, and no matter where I move it, is connected to that other post. Okay, if I want to disconnect it, I can just disconnect from the post by hitting those three dots. You don't have to put a label, you can just connect them. Of course, I think the labels are a very powerful way for students to visualize those connections, but think about when you add lots of different things onto a Padlet, having the students go through and connect those items to similar ideas. You can layer your posts, so if you've got a Padlet that has a lot of different posts on them, you can layer them. Copy posts, all these options are just editing features. I really think that just the color and the connecting are the options that are really powerful. And then you have the addition down here, which you can turn on in settings. That's going to be shared with you later. I can add a comment to a post. So here we have great photo, Julia, and you can see since I have an account, it shows that I'm the one that's making the comment. If you don't have an account, it will say anonymous, right? And you can go through and edit the comment and delete the comment if you are the one who made the comment. Okay. I also have the option of liking a post. This was something I turned on. So very Instagram-y with that heart option. There are other liking options, but we're going to go over that in a different post. So it really has a lot of versatility with even just posting on the Padlet.
Okay guys, my part of our little video tutorial here is just to talk about the types of Padlets that you can build, and they all kind of serve a different purpose. So once you log into Padlet, you'll notice right here the option to make a Padlet. So I'm going to click on that, and it is going to open up our options of Padlet backgrounds. So the first one is a wall, and you can kind of tell by the picture that basically it just pops each new entry, not in straight lines, but almost like a grid format. Now there is a grid over here, but there's a difference. If you notice, the grid is in rows, okay? And you'll notice this one is not quite in rows. That's the difference between those two. The Canvas option right here, if we look at it, is pretty cool because it allows you to connect ideas. So for example, if you have a reading passage and the kids have some different connections to the reading, if my connection is similar to yours, I could create a connection line between my thought and yours. So that explains that one. The stream is kind of like a Facebook wall a little bit. It's just one post right below the other. And so you scroll through the post in a way that makes it look very clean, just like this. So that is the stream option. Then over here we have a shelf option. So if we look at the shelf option, it's basically you set up the shelf and then you scroll through the responses. So in a class type setting, your responses, you could have 20 something responses below in each shelf. So if you had, this is kind of a KWL chart. So what we know, if every child were to respond under this, you would be able to scroll just this shelf. And then this shelf here would scroll on its own, and then this one here. So some kind of options there. And then last one is the newest one, which is a back channel. If you've ever heard of Today's Meet is a back channel. But Today's Meet our kids can't use. So with this back channel right here, it just allows the kids to communicate. So possibly you're showing, a discovery science video in class up on your projector. And so the kids could be answering questions in the back channel, or they could be making comments or connections. And it sort of looks like this. So one person asks a question and then other people comment, and so it looks sort of like a stream, but it's more comments, responding to a session or responding to a video, responding to a reading. Those are kind of all of the different options for that. So I don't want to make this too long, so I'm going to go ahead and stop with that. Really, you can't make a mistake. And the great thing about Padlet is if you pick one layout and you don't like it, you can change it within that Padlet. You don't have to quit and delete and start over. You can change it just right in the middle or even after it's already been finished.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about some publishing and sharing features within Padlet. So this right here is an example of a grid layout. You can kind of tell because it's all lined up horizontally and vertically. But after you make your Padlet, you'll notice in the top right-hand corner, we have these little icons and areas and things up here. And so the first one is these 3 dots. We always know if there's 3 dots there, there's something behind it that we can do. And so here is where we could invite people. So maybe you and a teacher are collaborating together. You might invite them to the Padlet that way. But we're going to look at this share and embed feature. But I also want to point out right here, change format. In my previous video, I had told you how even if this is set up as a grid, I could go and change it to a stream if I wanted to. And so then you'll notice how it lines up more one on top of the other. So we're going to go back to this and we are going to go to share or embed. And when we do that, we have 2 options. We have this option to look at, which is people and privacy. So privacy is always important. You can make it public. You can make it completely private. You can password protect it, or you can make it secret. If I clicked on secret right here, it just kind of means like you have to have the URL. You can't search for this Padlet anywhere. It won't show up. So basically it's just saying that anyone who has the link or QR code would be able to access it. If it's password protected, after they access it, they would still have to put in a password. And then here, if it's private, only you and the people you have invited to the Padlet would be able to access. So I usually pick secret. You can pick public, that would be fine too. This part right here is saying that those with access to the Padlet, you can either put this, they can write on it. This option would say, okay, you can't write on it, but you can read what other people have posted. This one right here is important for a lot of teachers because basically you would have to moderate any posts, meaning that you or your co-owners to the Padlet would have to approve each and every post. Some people really like to do that because maybe they don't feel like their kids are completely trained yet when it comes to posting on a Padlet, or maybe they haven't done a lot of digital citizenship or covered that in class yet. That really is up to you, what you decide. This is where you would add contributors. So if you want to add a co-teacher, this one right here just allows people that if they could find your Padlet, they could make a copy of it. And then again, this one right here would require admin or moderator approval before the posts are published. So those are your people and privacy options. But here is your share, export, and embed options. The exporting is going to be important with only just a few Padlets free. But the first one right here is it automatically generates the QR code for you. I love this. So then your kids can scan it. It's already created. You don't have to put it in a QR code maker. You can simply come right here and print the QR code yourself. This allows you to copy the link to the Padlet and email it to anybody. This would allow you to get the embed code, so you could embed it into your blog or your website, or possibly even your teacher ePortfolio. This would allow you to share by email, Facebook, or on Twitter. But here's our export features. So this save as an image feature just turns it into a JPEG or a PNG. So it's actually like a picture. Save as a PDF. So then you can kind of scroll through and see the whole thing. CSV is like an Excel spreadsheet. I'm actually not quite sure the difference on those because I probably would never use either of these features. I most often do the image or the PDF feature. So we love this option of it automatically generating the QR code for you, because anything that saves us time is fantastic. So I'm going to, let's see, go ahead and say, we're going to change that. Now, so that was all under the 3 dots, everything that I showed you there. But then we also have the settings feature. So the settings would let me go in and make a change. I added my own background image here for it to look like LISD related. This would let me change themes, change what color my posts are, change font styles. This is another newer feature on Padlet, is they have a profanity filter. So this is only in English thus far, but if anybody tried to type a bad word on the Padlet, it automatically replaces it with an emoji. New post position, so whether or not you want the post to pop up at the front or the bottom would be first or last. Attribution, if your students don't create an account, you want to always get them in a habit of putting their name as the title to the post, but otherwise, if we were to turn this on, they would definitely have to sign into an account to get the author name to show. And then here's the collaboration features right here. So either you are or are not going to include the ability to comment. So as soon as I turn that on, notice that below each post, it says add comment right here. Reactions are pretty cool because you can let students vote. So I can either let them like posts. I'm not a fan of that one, but you know, if we're trying to, you know, pick something as a class and you want kids to be able to upvote something or downvote something, that's what this one is. This one would allow you to rate it. So if I come over here, I would be able to, give it a 1 to 5 stars. This one would allow me to give a numeric grade to the post. I don't know that we would ever use that in elementary, but, and this gives you right here the link to the Padlet. So it's always padlet.com with your username and then a code right there. So those are some fantastic ways that you can modify. And then I'm going to close that. And then we also just have a quick way right here to get to share, and it takes us to the same thing that this did down here. So just like with Google, there's more places that you can go to do the same thing. So I hope that that helps, and let us know if you have questions.
'Cause I told you once before goodbye, but I came back again.